It was time to say goodbye to Cottonwood and start heading north to our next stop. There are some RV parks that are easy to leave, and others that are a little harder. Dead Horse Ranch State Park was definitely one of the harder ones. But the journey continues, and this time we were making our way to Page, which is home to one of the most iconic views in the Southwest and a bucket list stop I've been looking forward to for a long time.
Are you sleepy?
The drive itself was pretty uneventful, but the scenery along the way was anything but. Northern Arizona has a way of constantly changing around you. Stunning rolling hills, red rocks, and wide open spaces, each stretch of road looking just a little different from the last.
Baby girl, we're in single digits. You happy? Yes, you are. You need your ice cream.
The last time we visited Page, it was brutally hot. The kind of heat where you barely even want to step outside, and most of the trip was spent hiding in the RV with the air conditioner running. There's actually a bit of a heat wave happening across the Southwest, so it's definitely warmer than I'd prefer, but hopefully still comfortable enough to finally experience the view we came here for. Parking an RV is always a bit of a delicate dance that requires some solid communication. Garner and I have spent years perfecting our own parking language, and even after taking a year off from RV life, we slipped right back into the routine.
Made it to our new campsite. Here we go, baby. All right. A couple things fell. As per usual. Yeah, is it time for water? Oh boy. Oh boy. You want your chicken?
Once we were parked, I got Finney settled in, did a quick tidy up inside, and after unhooking the truck and getting everything set up, it was finally time to go find some dinner before tomorrow's big adventure. After getting settled in, we headed out to grab dinner at Big John's Texas Barbecue. When you're in a small town after a travel day, sometimes you just want something simple and filling, and barbecue usually fits the bill. Big John's is known for their Texas-style barbecue, where the meats are slow-smoked for hours to build that classic smoky flavor. Brisket, ribs, pulled pork, all the barbecue staples you'd hope to see on the menu.
On travel days, we usually always go out to eat, and we always try to find a local place. So here we are at Big John's Texas Barbecue, getting a little barbecue here. I got the chicken, Garner got the beef brisket. Chow down.
The meal was decent and definitely hit the spot after a long drive. It wasn't the best barbecue we've ever had, but it did the trick and gave us a solid dinner before the real reason we came to Page, tomorrow's bucket list adventure. For this trip, we booked a site at Page Lake Powell Campground. It's in a really convenient location right in town, which makes it a great base for exploring the area around Page. The campground itself is clean, well-maintained, and nice and quiet in the evening. One of the more unique things about this place is that if you don't have an RV, you can actually rent covered wagons to stay in during your visit. It's a fun option that adds a little Old West charm to the experience.
I'll bet people on the Oregon Trail would have liked to have had that air conditioning on their covered wagons.
After dinner, we like to take an evening walk around the campground whenever we stay somewhere new. It's a great way to stretch our legs and walk off dinner while getting a better feel for the place. We usually wander through the different loops, checking out the sights and the overall layout of the park. Evenings are usually the most peaceful time around a campground, when things start to quiet down for the night. It's a simple little routine, but one that we've come to enjoy during our travels. It is official. I am getting close to checking off bucket list number 5, at least the first half of it, which is to see the Horseshoe Bend from up above. Garner, how are we getting there?
We're gonna fly like an eagle, sort of.
I wish. Yeah, I don't think they can hover like a hummingbird.
Like a hummingbird. That's probably more.
That's probably
more
better.
accurate.
What are we getting on?
We got a helicopter. What else? Not a hummingbird.
So we're getting on a helicopter to fly over Horseshoe Bend, which I'm super excited about. Garner, have you ever been?
Nope, never been. This will be a new experience
First
for me.
time on a helicopter. I've actually been on a helicopter twice, once in Alaska and once into the Grand Canyon. And I have to be honest, not a huge fan of helicopters. I don't get motion sick, but I felt a little, not green, but just I felt a little. So
Something to look forward to.
let's keep lunch down today.
Maybe.
Yeah, let's go get on a helicopter and fly over Horseshoe Bend. I'm so excited. I love this place. Are you excited?
It's pretty cool. Yeah, be something new.
What would you be doing right now if you weren't married to me? Sitting at home doing what?
Who knows?
Doing what?
Probably playing video games.
Yeah. I make Garner get out and be adventurous, so I don't think he would have booked this. I don't think he would have thought to book this. I don't think he'd be in Page, Arizona if it weren't for me, so you're welcome.
Yeah, I'd be working on my studio tan, that's what I'd be doing.
Studio tan?
Studio tan, probably.
Well, you're welcome. Let's go on an adventure
Let's do it.
and keep lunch down.
Now start with this big round buckle in your right hand. Very snazzy. You want the plastic face facing outwards.
The flight begins with the Colorado River winding its way through the high desert landscape around Page, Arizona. This stretch of river is part of the greater Colorado Plateau, and while it feels remote and quiet from above, it's actually one of the most important waterways in the Southwest. From the helicopter, you can clearly see how the river cuts through deep canyon walls, shaping the land over millions of years as it flows towards the massive reservoir system that now defines this region. As the river widens, you start to see the marina coming into view along the shoreline of Lake Powell. This is one of the main gateways for boating and recreation in the area, where houseboats, tourboats, and kayaks launch out onto the vast blue water carved into the Red Rock Desert. From above, it's striking how the marina feels like a little hub of activities surrounded by an otherwise expansive and rugged landscape. Not far from there, the scale of modern engineering becomes impossible to miss at Glen Canyon Dam. The dam holds back the Colorado River to create Lake Powell, a reservoir that stretches for miles in multiple directions. From the air, you can see the contrast between the deep canyon walls downstream and the calm, expansive water upstream, a reminder of how dramatically this structure reshapes the entire region. Continuing downstream, the helicopter passes over one of the most iconic viewpoints in the American Southwest, Horseshoe Bend. The Colorado River makes a near-perfect 270-degree turn here, wrapping tightly around a towering sandstone formation. From above, the scale is even more dramatic, the tiny river below carving a brilliant green curve through the sheer red cliffs that drop nearly 1,000 feet. Seeing Horseshoe Bend from a bird's-eye view has been on my bucket list for a while, and it was so exciting when we finally hovered over it. As the flight continues, a massive sandstone formation rises ahead in the desert, Tower Butte. Tower Butte stands alone above the surrounding terrain at over 5,000 feet in elevation, making it one of the most prominent natural landmarks in the region. It's a towering monolith of Navajo sandstone that has been shaped by wind and time, and it's significant not just for its height, but for how isolated it is, rising straight out of the desert floor with nothing else around it for miles.
Unless you filled out the paperwork earlier.
How cool is this, Garner?
That's pretty neat.
Yeah, look at this view.
You want to get high?
We are on top of the Tower Butte. Not a lot of people get to go up here, and this is,
How much?
I'm like kind of speechless a little bit. Then comes something very few people ever experience, actually landing on the summit of Tower Butte. From the top, the view opens into an uninterrupted 360-degree panorama of the entire Page and Lake Powell region, which is part of the greater Glen Canyon National Recreation Area. In every direction, you can see layers of red rock mesas, winding canyons, distant rivers, and the Colorado Plateau stretching endlessly towards the horizon. It's a rare vantage point that makes the scale of this landscape feel almost unreal, as if you're standing on top of an ancient stone island suspended above the desert. I would like to thank Mother Nature today, because this could not be a better day to have such a beautiful sky. I have a much bigger smile on my face than I would if we didn't have such a beautiful sky. So thank you, Mother Nature. I appreciate it. Our time on top of Tower Butte was incredible, even though it would never feel long enough. Even with the helicopter waiting nearby, I couldn't stop taking in the views in every direction. It was one of those rare places where you just stand still and take it all in. No words will ever do this view justice. As we lifted off from Tower Butte, our pilot pointed out a small circular stone structure in the desert that's believed to be an old livestock corral, likely used by Navajo herders in the past. These types of enclosures were commonly built to protect sheep or cattle from predators and harsh weather in this open landscape. From above, it's just a faint ring in the sand and rock, but it's a quiet reminder of how long people have been living and working in this region. All right, Garner, on a scale of 1 to 10, how amazing was that?
That was definitely one of those unique experiences way up to the tippy top of that scale. That was pretty awesome.
I think I had a permanent smile on my face the entire time. I think I have to put that at like a 9.9999, and the only reason it's not a 10 is because it wasn't long enough. I could have stayed up on the Tower Butte for an hour.
Right, there you go. You gotta leave them wanting more.
Gotta leave them wanting more.
That's the secret to entertainment, isn't it?
It absolutely is. I would 100% recommend Papillon Helicopters. I'll put the link to their company in the description below. Daniel was our pilot. He was amazing, really informative.
And his bad jokes weren't too bad.
His bad jokes weren't bad, no. He had some puns that were pretty punny, but that was amazing.
It was good, very good experience. It's pretty rad.
I would do that again in a heartbeat. You wanna go back? Right now?
Okay, let's go.
I don't have enough money to do that.
Oh, yeah. Refill the coffers.
Yeah, this wasn't free. In a couple of days, we're gonna get to see Horseshoe Bend from the water. So we did from the sky, and now we're gonna do from the water. Ready to go on a jet boat?
All right, I got I took swimming lessons.
We know how to swim.
Yep.
All right.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Garner just told me something really funny. All right, Garner, what did you do?
I just said that before we left to go on this helicopter tour, because I know helicopters are very dangerous, I filled up Finney's, just got 2 bowls, one we never fill. I filled up both of them all the way as much as I could, just in case the helicopter crashed, and we never made it back to the RV. It would give her a better chance of survival, so then we'd find her she wouldn't have to starve to death. But we made it back! We're alive!
I think Garner might be a better cat parent than I, because I didn't think about that. Maybe I was just being optimistic, but I didn't think about that, so I'm glad you're a better cat daddy than I am.
World's number one cat dad. World's number one cat dad.
But don't worry, Finney, we're coming back. First thing, we're gonna go get some ice cream.
Heck yeah.
You want some ice cream?
I don't like ice cream. I love ice cream.
Yeah, what a day. What a day. Ready for some ice cream?
Always.
I'm not really eating sugar, like fake sugar candy right now, but it's Pop Rocks. I gotta have the Pop Rocks. I can't believe they still make candy cigarettes. It's still a thing. Now that I've done Horseshoe Bend from above, it's time to go from below. So we're doing this Wilderness Raft Adventures. I'm not 100% sure what I got us into, but I know we're gonna be on the water, we're gonna go around Horseshoe Bend, and it's gonna be a fun day. Out in the sun, again, which is kind of killing me, but I'm trying to sunscreen up as much as possible, and it should be nice and cool down on the water. So let's go do some rafting. The next part of our adventure took us down onto the Colorado River itself with a rafting trip through the Glen Canyon stretch near Page. Out on the water, the first thing that stands out is just how massive the canyon walls are, towering hundreds of feet straight up on both sides. The river feels almost narrow in comparison, even though it's carving through one of the most dramatic landscapes in the Southwest, shaped over millions of years from layered Navajo sandstone and ancient sedimentary rock. The water itself is surprisingly cold year-round, fed by releases from Glen Canyon Dam, which help regulate flow but also keep temperatures consistently chilly. Even on a warm day, the contrast is noticeable. The sun heats the canyon walls quickly, but the river stays icy enough that you can really feel it when you dip your hands or you get splashed. According to the river guides in this area, it's typically in the 40 to 50 degree Fahrenheit range depending on conditions, which makes the shade and the moving boat feel especially comfortable when you're cruising. What makes this section of the river so interesting is the mix of calm, slow-moving water and the geologic storytelling happening all around you. The walls are made up of layered sandstone and siltstone from the Colorado Plateau, with colors shifting from deep reds to golden oranges depending on the light. It's part of the larger Glen Canyon ecosystem, where the river has cut through ancient desert rock to create a winding corridor that feels both vast and enclosed at the same time. As we rounded the bends near Horseshoe Bend, the river began to curve more dramatically, and the canyon walls tightened around us. Then, almost suddenly, we could see tiny silhouettes of people standing along the rim far above, looking down from the famous viewpoint we had just seen a few days before from the helicopter. From the water, they looked impossibly small, like dots along the edge of the cliff, while we drifted quietly through the canyon below them. It was such a strange reversal of perspective. Just a short time before, we had been in the helicopter looking straight down onto the same horseshoe-shaped curve of the Colorado River. It looked like a painted ribbon carved into the rock. From up there, everything felt wide and abstract, but from down on the river, it felt intimate and massive at the same time. Towering canyon walls pressing in around us while we traced the exact path we had just admired from the sky.
This is Pac-Man's Ghost. That little white trail is a gaming trail for the bighorn sheep.
At the halfway point of the rafting trip, we were able to hop off the boat and take a short hike up the river to see a set of ancient petroglyphs carved into the canyon walls. These markings were created by indigenous people of the Colorado Plateau. While the exact meanings aren't fully known, many petroglyphs like these are thought to represent symbols tied to migration, hunting, spiritual beliefs, or everyday life. Standing in front of them, it's striking to realize how long this canyon has been part of human history, with the river below continuing to flow past the same stories carved into the stone centuries ago.
We're able to get off the raft and go up and see some petroglyphs, which is really cool. Definitely part of the ancient past. And there's all these beautiful flowers lining the trail. But it is hot. Garner, are you built for this heat?
It's hot.
It's hot. It's hot, so we're gonna go back down to the water where it's cooler. Whew.
The third and final part of checking this bucket list experience off was seeing Horseshoe Bend from the official viewpoint at sunset. This is one of the most iconic overlooks in Arizona, and over the years, it's become incredibly popular as word has spread and social media has amplified just how unreal the view is. What used to be a relatively quiet stop has now grown into a steady flow of visitors throughout the day, especially around golden hour when the light drops into the canyon. There's been a lot of effort in recent years to make the area safer and more accessible, including a defined trail and fenced viewing platform. Even so, much of the rim is still wide open, and it's a powerful reminder that just beyond the designated paths is a sheer drop of nearly 1,000 feet straight down to the Colorado River below. Standing there at sunset, watching the light shift across the canyon walls and reflect off the water far below, it's impossible not to feel both awe and respect for the scale of the landscape. It's one of those places that feels unforgettable, but also deserves to be experienced carefully from a safe distance so it stays protected for everyone who comes after.
To check off this final bucket list activity, we've seen Horseshoe Bend from the sky, Horseshoe Bend from the water, and now I've been waiting for the sky to be just right and do a nice beautiful sunset from Horseshoe Bend right here on the overlook. So waiting for the sun to go down, got my time lapse set up. It's working its way down, and this bucket list item is about to be checked off.
Standing there watching the sun sink behind the horizon, it's easy to see why Horseshoe Bend has become one of the most iconic views in the Southwest. Bucket list item number 5 was everything I hoped it would be. Epic, unforgettable, and a collection of moments that remind me why I travel in the first place. Seeing the Colorado River curve perfectly around the sandstone walls from 3 different perspectives is something that photos and video can't fully capture. This spot has quickly become one of my favorite places in Arizona, and even though I can officially check it off the list, it definitely doesn't mean I'm done with it. Some places are just too special to visit only once or twice, and I have a feeling I'll be back here yet again someday soon. In this video, I feature the Summer Nights hat. You can get the link to the pattern in the description below, and I'm going to show you how to very easily pick up a missed yarn over if you accidentally forget one on the previous round. Now this only works if you're working on the round after where the yarn over should have happened. So for me, and I do pay attention to my knitting, I know that I should have a yarn over that flanks my double decrease. So here's my double decrease, and I've got one yarn over here, but I'm missing the yarn over on this side. So this round is just a knit round. And I did notice that that was missing, and so all you do is get to the spot where the yarn over is supposed to be, and then pick up the top bar from front to back, get it onto your left needle, and then work it just like a yarn over. And now you have flawlessly added that yarn over without having to tink anything back, and it's a really easy way to fix that. Now I don't recommend doing this if you missed the entire round of yarn overs or if you missed a bunch of them, because that is going to pull your fabric pretty tight and it's not going to look right. But, you know, if you miss one yarn over here or there, it is totally no problem to go ahead and just pick that up. And basically all it is doing the same thing to where if you accidentally drop that yarn over off your needle, it's the same idea. You're just picking up that top bar, getting it onto your left needle and knitting it, and you got that yarn over as it should be, no problem. So pay attention to your work. If you missed one yarn over here or there, don't worry about tinking. Just do this little trick and you will be good to go.